And joining us now is Dr. Carole Lieberman. She is a forensic psychiatrist and expert witness. Doctor, on Carlee's cell phone, some notable searches were found that included, are you charged for an Amber Alert? Searches of the Liam Neeson film Taken, which is about kidnapping, as you know, and how to steal cash from a register and not get caught. So, doctor, what does that tell you?
Well, first of all, it tells you that she has other signs of being dishonest, how to steal from a register. The movie Taken, that is a big clue, because basically she was staging her abduction. I didn't believe her. I thought there was something fishy with this case from the very beginning. Because that's basically what I'm trained to do as a forensic psychiatrist, is to, determine whether people are malignant, whether they're lying, or whether they're, whether they're telling the truth, criminals, and or even in civil cases. So, she also seems to have copied Sherry Papini. When she did that, she's the California woman who staged a hoax. She disappeared for a while, and it turned out that she was with an old boyfriend, and then she surprisingly, showed up. She was charged with things, and did, I don't remember whether she spent time in jail, but she was definitely convicted. There are so many. First of all, it's interesting that she left her purse and her wig and her expensive watch and so on in her car at the side of the road. But she took the black bathrobe and toilet paper that she stole from her job at the spa, and she took snacks. So those are kind of clues as, did she hide out in the woods? Was she thinking she would need these kinds of things? She also bought a bus ticket to Nashville. Now, was there a boyfriend in Nashville or somebody she was hoping to meet up with? These are the kinds of things that the police need to follow up on. There are several other. Now, for example, in the press conference, the chief of police was saying that there were other things on her cell phone, but he's not disclosing that because of, sort of respect for her, to keep her privacy. So there are lots of different avenues. I just mentioned a few of them, but there are lots of different avenues to go down, and the police going to go down those avenues to try, because they want to determine what actually she was doing during those 2 days.
Absolutely. Those are the big questions. So as we know, Carlee's boyfriend and parents are standing firmly behind her. They've also been through a lot, of course, during this time. What do police need to look for when handling a case like this?
Well, it's interesting, her boyfriend and parents, because yes, they're saying certainly that they believe her now. The parents said this on national television. But if it turns out, as the police chief essentially said, that this was a hoax, they're going to be angry at her. Of course, if she gets charged, then they'll be sympathetic and try to help her, undoubtedly. But, this is a very, I think part of it was that she was wanting to manipulate them in some way. It's not clear why, but like, for example, that day that she disappeared, not only did she steal from her work, but also
there were things happening where she was misrepresenting, but she also, like you said, doing things where she wasn't telling the truth, and that was obvious. Is that correct, doctor?
Yeah, yes. And so she was afraid perhaps that she was going to get into trouble, like flunking out of nursing school and so on. There were various things, but it's still really there. It's not very clear. And and certainly we need to get to the bottom of it for one of the reasons that you were mentioning. How are the police going to react to other women who come up with these kinds of stories?
Absolutely. Dr. Lieberman, thank you so much for joining us and for that breakdown.
You're welcome.